Google Pixel Fold Camera Test. Peace be upon you, my dear friends and followers of the channel. How are you today? I hope you are well and in good health. Today with you is a beautiful, new and important video for everyone. This video will be called the Google Pixel Fold Camera Test. But before watching the video, subscribe to the channel and like and share so that it reaches the largest number of people. Now let's watch the video and I hope you like it. We put the Google Pixel Fold through a battery of rigorous XMark camera tests to measure its performance in photo and video quality and zoom from an end-user perspective. In this video I will explain the device's performance in a variety of tests and several common use cases and aim to highlight the most important results of our testing through a snippet of the data captured. Overview. Main camera specifications: primary camera, 48MP sensor, 0.8 micro-pixel, f/1.7 lens, dual pixel DAF, OIS ultra-wide camera, 10.8MP sensor, 1.25 micro-pixels, f/2.2 lens, OIS telecamera, 10.8MP sensor, 1.22 micro-pixel, f/3.05 lens, dual pixel OIS pros: good exposure in most conditions, good dynamic range and neutral white balance and indoor and outdoor photos, effective video stabilization, fast and accurate autofocus and zero shutter lag ensure that photos are captured quickly. Cons: unstable video exposure and white balance, fairly high subject noise levels in backlight and low light, loss of detail in low light, depth estimation errors and unpleasant blurring in bokeh mode, unwanted image effects, including ghosting, fusion effects and judder effect. The Google Pixel Fold delivered average performance for a device in the ultra premium category in our XMark camera test, but it stood out as the best foldable or flipping form factor device we've tested yet. Its main strength was the autofocus system, which provided accurate focus most of the time, even in difficult lighting. Photos and videos captured with the device feature a wide dynamic range and neutral white balance. Additionally, contrast was well represented in HDR conditions, for example in backlit scenes, and exposure was generally good in most situations. The camera also manages to keep noise levels low in bright light and under indoor conditions. However, noise levels rose in low light, night shots, and in high contrast scenes. Portrait mode also left room for improvement, with slightly annoying blurring and noticeable depth estimation artifacts. Videos showed unstable exposure and white balance in all conditions. Overall, the Google Pixel Fold was best suited for taking landscape shots in most lighting conditions. Test summary about XMark camera tests. XMark camera evaluations are conducted in laboratories and in real-world situations using a variety of subjects. The results are based on objective tests, in which results are calculated directly by measurement software on our laboratory setup, and on perceptual tests, in which a sophisticated set of metrics allows a group of image experts to compare aspects of image quality that require human judgment. The smartphone testing involves a team of engineers and technicians for about a week. Image, zoom and video quality are scored separately and then combined into an overall score for comparison between cameras in different devices. For more information about the XMark camera protocol, in our tests, the Google Pixel Fold delivered the best still photo performance yet for a device with a foldable form factor. Our experts were impressed with how it handled exposure in challenging conditions, such as backlit or high contrast scenes. Thanks to the wide dynamic range, light clipping is kept to a minimum. The rendering of colors and skin tones was also pleasing, but the real highlight of the device is the autofocus. Zero shutter lag allowed for fast shooting and focus accuracy was high, even in low light. On the other hand, noise levels in low light, especially on moving objects, were higher than those on other foldable phones we've tested. Texture retention was at the same level as in direct competitors. Exposure and color are the main features of technically good photos. For exposure, the main characteristic that is evaluated is the brightness of the main subject through different use cases such as landscape, portrait or still life. Other factors that are evaluated are contrast and dynamic range. For example, the ability to render visual detail in both bright and dark areas of the image. Repeatability is also important because it demonstrates the camera's ability to provide the same view when taking multiple photos of the same scene. For color, The image quality attributes analyzed are skin tone rendering, white balance, color shading, and repeatability. For color rendering and skin tone, we penalize unnatural colors but respect the manufacturer's choice of color signature. F-tests focus on focus accuracy, focus repeatability, shooting time delay, and depth of field. Shooting delay is the difference between the time the user presses the capture button and the time the photo is actually captured. This includes focusing speed and the device's ability to capture images at the right time, which is called no shutter lag capability. Even if a shallow depth of field can be pleasing for a portrait of a single subject or a close-up shot, it can also be problematic in some specific circumstances such as group photos. Both positions are tested. Focus accuracy is also evaluated in all real-life images captured, from infinity to close-up subjects and in low light to outdoor conditions. Texture tests analyze the level of detail and texture of subjects in images captured in the laboratory as well as in real-life scenarios. For landscape shots, special attention is paid to the level of detail in the bright and dark areas of the image. Objective measurements are performed on histogram images captured in different illumination conditions from 1 to 1000 lux and different types of dynamic range conditions. The charts used are the Special Exomark, DMC, chart and the Dead Leaves chart. Noise tests analyze different noise attributes such as density, color, granularity, and structure in real-world images as well as chart images captured in the laboratory. For natural images, special attention is paid to noise on faces and landscapes, but also on dark areas and high dynamic range conditions. Noise on moving objects in natural images is also evaluated. Objective measurements are made on chart images captured at different conditions from 1 to 1000 lux and different types of dynamic range conditions. The chart used is the Dead Leaves chart and the standardized measurements as visual noise derived from ISO 15739. Artifact evaluation looks at lens vignetting, chromatic aberrations, geometric distortions, edge ringing, halos, ghosting, quantization, and unexpected hue shifts, among other types of possible unnatural effects on images. The more severe and frequent the problem, the more points will be deducted from the score. Below is a list of the main problems observed and the corresponding points lost. Preview tests analyze image quality in the camera app's preview of an image, paying particular attention to the difference between capture and preview, especially regarding dynamic range and bokeh effect application. Smoothness of exposure, color and focus adaptation are also evaluated when zooming from the minimum to maximum available zoom factor. Preview frame rate is measured using the global LED timer. The Google Pixel Fold has the best zoom of all the folded or inverted devices we've tested. In fact, high quality zoom requires different dedicated cameras, which can lead to component clutter. But the Google Pixel Fold manages to overcome the limitations of its form factor with well-performing zoom. Hence, the telephoto camera provided good texture preservation in the medium and long range. Color rendition was pleasing and exposure was good. However, with a minimum equivalent focal length of 16 mm, the field of view of the Google Pixel Fold's ultra-wide camera was somewhat narrow when compared to the best devices in its class, but on a similar level to other foldable phones. However, the Google Pixel Fold is a great foldable device for photographers who prefer to zoom in rather than zoom out. These tests analyze the ultra-wide camera's performance at several focal lengths from 12 mm to 20 mm. All image quality attributes are evaluated, with special attention paid to such artifacts as chromatic aberrations, lens smoothness, and distortions. The images below are an excerpt of the scenes tested. In video mode, the Google Pixel Fold was tested at 4K resolution and 30 fps. Overall, video performance was the best of all the foldable phones tested so far. Target exposure was fairly accurate, but testers occasionally noticed low contrast. Video noise was well under control in bright light and under typical indoor conditions, but noise can appear in low light. The autofocus system worked accurately, without any noticeable malfunctions. Additionally, the video stabilization feature worked effectively, keeping the camera shake at bay. But not everything was perfect. Our testers found that preserving texture left room for improvement, especially when texture effects such as scene integrity emerged. Color can also be unstable in some conditions, but overall color rendering was natural. Exposure tests evaluate the brightness of the main subject and dynamic range, that is the ability to display visible detail in both bright and dark areas of the image. Exposure stability and temporal adaptation are also analyzed. Color image quality analysis addresses color rendition, skin tone rendition, white balance, color shading, white balance stability and its adaptation to changing light. Texture tests analyze the level of detail and texture of real-life videos as well as videos of textures recorded in the lab. Natural video recordings are evaluated visually, with special attention paid to the level of detail in bright areas as well as in the dark. Objective measurements are made of chart images taken at various conditions from 1 to 1000 lux. The charts used are Xmark, DMC, chart and dead leaves chart. Noise tests analyze different noise attributes such as intensity, color, granularity, structure, and temporal aspects in real-life video recordings as well as videos of histograms captured in the laboratory. Natural videos are evaluated visually, with special attention paid to noise in dark areas and high dynamic range conditions. Objective measurements are made on video clips of histograms recorded at various conditions from 1 to 1000 lux. The chart used is the Xmark Visual Noise Chart. The stabilization rating tests the device's ability to stabilize shots thanks to software or hardware technologies such as OIS, eyes, or other means. The evaluation looks at residual motion, smoothness, gel artifacts, and residual motion blur in walking and running use cases in different lighting conditions. The video below is an excerpt of one of the scenes tested. Artifacts are evaluated using MTF and ring measurements on an SFR chart in the lab as well as frame rate measurements using the global LED timer. Natural videos are evaluated visually by paying particular attention to unwanted artifacts such as aliasing, quantization, occlusion, and color shift, among others. The more severe and frequent the unwanted events, the more points are deducted from the score. Below is a list of the main undesirables and their corresponding points loss. At the end of the video, I thank you for watching and I hope you liked it, and see you in a new video.